कल्ले जाई जाने सानू भी झुट्टा दे दो इत्थे कल्ले कल्ले जाई जाने Please make sure that all of you are also dancing with me. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Super hello. You hear songs in Hindi, but you always speak in English. You know, I wish I could do my Insta lives in Hindi, but all my courses are in English, so therefore my Insta live is in English. But I'm actually a lover of Hindi music. I'm typical Bollywood kind of girl, so love my Hindi music and everything Hindi. Okay, so that's who I am. Love you in your black dress. Ooh, actually it's a blue top, but it's fine. You know, the kind of filter I'm using, I think it's showing as black instead of blue. Let me see if I can. Now you can tell it's blue, but now it's become too pink and white and all. Which filter do I like? I like this one. I like this one also. Let's keep this one. All right. Do you make your clients dance before your one-to-one coaching? I make them dance in all of my group coachings. I do not make them dance in my one-to-one coachings. Okay, so we do deeper meditations in one-to-one coaching because that's the energy. I want to go deep with them. So when I am spreading knowledge and information, I love dancing. When I'm processing people, I don't want to take them out of their pain because I want to go deeper in their suffering and pain and whatever it is feeling. So whatever they are feeling, so I can pull it out and keep it with me. I tell every client, when you come to me, come ready to give me all of your pain, your hurt, your anger, your suffering. You have to leave all of that in my office and go. I know how to clear it. You don't know how to clear it, so just pass it to me. So that's normally how I do my one-to-one coachings. Oh, shadi wala black dress. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah. Thank you. I got it. Which one? Yes, I wore one black dress on day one. Thank you for that. Yes. When is your group coaching session in person? You know, honestly speaking, now that you've asked me, it's happening on the 24th and 25th of June. Block your dates if you haven't already. Even my team doesn't know this till now. I haven't yet announced it even to my own team, but we've just recently blocked it. It's going to be in Chennai. So if you are interested in coming for a live event with me, then I would love to have you. It's happening on the first one for this year is happening on the 24th and 25th of June. Block your dates. All details will follow. Right now I'm not telling you anything else, okay? So yes, Vibrant Life 5, thank you for asking that question. Mystic Megha, inspiring masculine energy in someone versus manipulating someone, what's the difference? Interesting. So one of the things I always believe is that whenever you are manipulating someone, the problem is that they will not benefit, but you will benefit. So whenever your benefit is more in a situation and you are trying to influence someone, to me that is manipulation. So if I want to, let's say, go to my cousin's house, but I don't have a driver, so I ask you, hey, you also come, no, you always are so, and I manipulate you to come because I didn't have a driver to go to her house, that's manipulation. What is the difference between inspiring and manipulating? Inspiring is when it's a win-win. Manipulation is when it's a win-lose or a win-less-win. So if the other person, when you are inspiring them, let's say you want them to do something and everything, and it's not a direct benefit to you, but a more you see it as their potential or their, living their best life or all of that, then that's inspiring. So for me, anytime I want to check whether someone's influencing or inspiring or are they manipulating, it is just for me to check who's the beneficiary of that whole situation. Okay? So yeah, that's a simple answer. Of course, there's a lot of depth and layers to it, which I don't want to go into right now. But that's for you the simple answer. Just check who's the beneficiary. Geeta Ramachandran, waiting to meet you on 8th of April. So am I, my sweetheart Geeta. Rather, all of you here, if you are in this room today in my Insta Live, I just want you to know, and you're coming on 8th and 9th of April, I am so excited. I can't wait to hug you. Your 3 months of hard work, dedication. For those of you who just did your CCX, I'm so proud of you. For those of you who just finished your entire enlightenment, 10 goddesses for the last 10 weeks, the kind of hard work you put in. I can tell you, of all my courses, the hardest ones are CC and GBDE, and for anyone who graduates from them, they just cannot remain the same. So proud of you. Dr. Shalini Dhish is asking, any words of wisdom to give to mothers of special children? I get to work with a lot of them. Shalini, I'm of the big belief that God chooses our problems depending on the kind of karmic debt He wants us to clear. So for each one of us, we have different sets of problems. And to me, if you had to ask me what are one of the highest problems that God gives us, could be just pain in our children. Any sort of pain in our children. Pain in ourselves is not half as bad as pain in our children because we feel so helpless. And helplessness is one of the, maybe by far, one of the hardest, emotions to experience. So the only thing I would tell a mother like that is get ready, because something God will compensate with. Because He's given you this, everything else in your life will become wonderful. You can start to notice your child will develop some sort of, a sixth sense. There will something be very beautiful about that child, and look out for that. Of course, please take care of yourself in the love for our child. We tend to neglect our own health, our own life, because we think we dedicate our 24/7 to that special child because their needs are so much greater. My suggestion is definitely ask for help. See if you can keep staff that can help you. See if you can get your husband, mother-in-law, grandmother, nanny, your mother, anybody who's around you to help you out. There's nothing wrong in asking for help. That's one of the things that I think enough mothers of special needs don't do. Also, I think create a peer group of mothers of special children. A lot of special children mothers, what I see right now, not the ones where it is obvious, but where it is not obvious. Mothers of seizure children, or mother of any of those things which can be hidden. I think they are carrying a lot of shame and a lot of that they need to hide it from the world. So they're going on a very, very lonely journey of not getting any help apart from doctors. I think that's such a bad idea. To be very honest, one of the best things we can do is put a peer group together where I know some mothers who are going through something similar, and on exchanging notes, not feeling alone, really, really helps. So, and of course, if you're a mother of a special child, you need to increase your self-love so much more. We carry guilt for no reason. We carry hurt for I won't say for no reason, but we are carrying it way too much while it's not really needed. So, my favorite sentence, I'm going to use it 1,000 times in the next Insta lives as you keep hearing, is Build yourself a village. Don't do this alone. So the same thing I'm going to tell you, Shalini. Every woman that you help or you tend to work with, tell her to build a village. Tell her not to be just dependent on herself, on her husband, on her family, to build a community of other mothers of the same kind. There's too many today, each one suffering all alone. And why? Why are they suffering all alone? Mamta Jha, I always appreciate you and pray for your happiness and success. Thank you, Mamta. That's so kind of you. You know, for all that you all pray, it helps. I see my life at so many levels working out because of the prayers of the people who love me. And I just want you to know, I totally boomerang that emotion. So for every single one that's praying for me, I pray for you. Because you know what? It's so beautiful when 350 people pray for you rather than you pray for just yourself and let another 350 pray for you. So the more we pray for others, we boomerang it back to ourselves, and that is so much bigger and better a prayer than any other prayer. So see if you can start to pray for the world, for community, for society rather than just for yourself. It really opens up your dimensions and it removes you from scarcity to abundance. Adi Shankari, how to talk like a goddess to my son who is not studying. He's going to the 12th this year. To all the parents who are operating from this emotion that education is what's going to make their child's life, can I tell you, start operating from a place of love rather than fear. Fear speaks the language that if he doesn't study, his life won't work out. Love speaks the language that every challenge in my son's life will grow him into becoming the person he needs to be. So when my son refused to study in 12th grade, for him COVID hit and he was 100% sure boards was not going to happen. And I said, even Modi ji doesn't know if boards are going to happen. You know. He said, Mom, I'm 100% sure. And he totally, completely stopped studying. And I said, what's the worst that can happen? He'll flunk. In repeating the year, the number of lessons he's going to learn are going to be phenomenal. And I honestly accepted the fact that if he does have to repeat, he can repeat, no problem. I mean, I knew somewhere deep down he's not going to be that bad that he will land up repeating. But I was like, okay, let's say he doesn't get the score he wants. Everything in life is a lesson. And the more as mothers, we try to protect our children from hurt, from mistakes, from failures, the more we delay it in their life. And honestly, wouldn't it be so much better if our children learned their lessons at the age of 14, 15, 16, 17, then when life actually becomes real and serious at 20, 21, 22, 23. So in my journey, somewhere along the way, I have started to, in my heart, believe that parents have to allow their children to make a lot more mistakes at a younger age. I would rather your child comes back to tell you, why didn't you guide me better, than to be so over-guided that once they are done with you, they don't even want to, do anything productive because they've lived such an overly productive life till the age of 14, 15, 16, 17. Now, if you and your child are already in sync and he's doing very well, all of this, what I'm saying, does not apply. But if you have a child who's not so interested in studies, my suggestion would be, let's help that child find something that excites him. You try to do something for 2 hours that you don't like, you will find it so hard. We are expecting our children to spend years doing things they don't like, and then we wonder why they are not motivated, why they are not inspired. So I know this was supposed to be me helping you speak to your child, but honestly I think I've changed it to me helping you speak to your fear that it may not work out for your child. My suggestion is, it's going to 100% work out if you have the belief that, you know what, God is protecting me, God is protecting my child, and whatever will happen to us will happen for the best. And somewhere I feel like I, very early in my journey with my children, decided that they're going to be late bloomers. That they will bloom, but at a much later stage. They are not going to bloom at the school level. So I mustn't attach my self-esteem to their education. And that's one of the things I keep telling mothers, make sure that your self-worth doesn't come from your child's self-worth. So that's another conversation to be had. Not that I've helped you in any way, but if you do really want him to study, think of sitting down with him and communicating to him the whole concept of choices and consequences. So if you can make him make a list of all that he would love to do, and you make a list of all that you would love him to do, and then if you can barter. So let's say he's put, I want to watch a movie a week. I remember my children used to love Domino's pizzas. So every Wednesday, for them to earn their Domino's pizzas, they had to do something from that Thursday to the following Tuesday. And then they would get their Domino's pizzas. So like that, if you can set up choices and consequences and be okay that if he didn't make the right choice, then he has to face the consequence, and that supervision very important. So you wanna go for you wanna go for a movie a week? I need you to make sure that you attempt at least one maths paper of 3 hours that morning. So like that, see if you can barter, because you know what, when children get to choose, they are far more responsible than when they are told. So try avoiding authority and start to communicate as if you are equal. I feel like that makes a lot of difference. Yeah. Thank you. Uma is saying, may you soon come out of your cold, Puja Ma. With so much cold, you still come to meet us every week and shine like a star. You know, I just took a flight. I don't know how many of you know I was in a wedding and I've just taken a flight back. So every time I'm on an aeroplane, my nose gets blocked, my ear gets shut down. So don't worry about me. It'll be fine by tomorrow morning. But for today, yes, I'm not going to deny that's what it is. Yeah. Hina 2400. Ma'am, please answer what to do when husband shares everything I say to him with his mother. You know what? I think you need to sit and communicate very sweetly on how you would like him to communicate to his mother and what are the things that need to remain sacred between you and him. And that you can only do when he starts to feel safe with you. Right now, who is he feeling safe with? His mother. So therefore, he's communicating to her. You need to change that angle a little bit. So sit him down and say, you know what, sweetheart, every time you overshare with your mother, I feel violated because this is our space. I would love for us to have topics that you discuss with your mother and topics that only we talk about. Just the way you should have topics with her that you don't come back and share with me. And so like that, if you can start to build trust with him and if you can start to reward him whenever he does do, you know, a lot of times one of the biggest mistakes we as wives can make is, let's say he kept 3 of your secrets, but then again went and revealed 1. You won't applaud him for the 3 that he kept, but you will definitely mention the 1 he didn't keep. And so therefore what happens is they don't get encouraged enough. If you truly want to change the behavior of a man, you have to literally biscuit him every time he does something right. Okay, so now while that may sound very derogatory, it's not. We must understand that the ego of the man must be looked after just the way the emotions of a woman must be looked after. So for a man, his respect, and for a woman, her love. These are the important aspects. I'm not saying the man doesn't want love and the woman doesn't want respect. But if you had to ask me 51-49, that's how it works. So see if you can respectfully start to communicate to him what you would like him to do, and make sure that every time he does it right, you mention it 50 times so that he knows what he's doing right. Unfortunately for men, they don't understand subtle suggestions, they don't understand hints. Sometimes they don't even understand when we speak to them directly. So it is, you need to spell out everything when you're speaking to them. Yeah. Sukoon Zindagi 3. How to overcome identity crisis, Puja ma'am. It all depends on what you mean by identity crisis. I'm going to just take it for granted that there is a situation in your life right now where you feel like you've lost who you used to be and you still haven't found who you want to become. So you are in what we call the dark night of the soul. So the dark night of the soul is actually a very beautiful period for deep reflection. This is the time for you to discover who you are, what is your value system, what matters to you, what is important, what are your talents, what are the things that you get compliments on, so that you can start to figure out your entire personality. Because remember, the more you know yourself, the better an identity you will create of yourself. And a lot of times I feel like you need to go a lot of places before you can find yourself. You know, I remember when I started to become successful right in the beginning of my career itself, one of the things that I realized was the better I was getting in business, in my career, in my financial earnings, the more my relationships at home started to improve. And for me, one of my biggest realizations was the reason I have a career is because my relationships really matter to me. And when I'm happy with my career, when my self-worth is feeling high, I show up differently as a wife, mother, daughter, daughter-in-law. Every relationship of mine is better because my self-worth is not looking for begging them for approval, acknowledgement, appreciation, validation. I'm actually getting that from outside and distributing happiness in my home. So it changed everything for me when I realized, to me, my number one priority is family. Family will always come first. But because I was so driven, so career oriented, I used to think I'm more career oriented, while all I wanted was that I should be happy enough to bring happiness into the home. So a lot of times when we're having our identity crisis, it's also because who we thought we are not, and who we are becoming, we are not yet sure of. So my sweetheart, my suggestion would be read a lot of books, watch a lot of videos, go for a lot of courses. This is your time to find and rediscover yourself. And one of the biggest realizations I've had over the last 43 years, or rather 20 years of doing the work, I can say is that we go through identity crisis almost every 5 years. Did you know that? You would think that, oh, by now Puja must be completely sorted in her identity, or someone who looks very established. But you know what? Every 3, 4, 5 years, there's this need to reinvent ourselves because we start to stagnate. And any sort of stagnation puts us in crisis. So see if you can start to work with yours. I don't know if this was the right answer for you or what exactly you were asking, but I've just guessed my way that this is what you were meaning to ask. Divya Pravi saying, what about the oracle message cards for today, ma'am? They are right here, my darling Divya Pravi. We'll get started on them right away. Let's shuffle to all the tarot readers and card readers and all of you people who are connected to the other realm in terms of cards. I just want you to know, I just do this out of fun more than any kind of science to it. So I'm just going to do it my way. So if there's anything I'm not doing right, please do not mind. Which card should we pick up? Energetically. All right. Be a girl with a mind, a woman with attitude, and a lady with class. That's what it says. Be a girl with a mind. So if you're a young girl, start to have a mind of your own. A woman with attitude. I don't think here they mean attitude in terms of arrogance, but I think here they more mean that a lot of times, a lot of us women do not have enough self-worth. And a lot of self-worth, a lot of attitude automatically starts to show up when you have self-worth. So a little bit of attitude adds charm to your personality. And a lady with class, I like that, lady with class. I think to me that would be the most important part of this sentence. What is the difference between a classy lady and a lady who is not so classy is, I think, just how you show up in the world in terms of sensitivity to others. So for me, a classy person is a person who has the ability to be sensitive to the world around them. Rather than just being all focused on self. It's a lot of spotlight to serve others. That's my definition of class. Of course, I'd love to know in the chat box if you have your own definition of class. What does classy mean to you? So yeah, I think that's what it is for today. And so I will share it in the stories for sure. Yeah, thank you for asking, Divya Pravi. Mystic Megha, the more I am on spiritual path, the more disconnected I feel from everyone, especially my husband. I don't want that. He's not aware of his subconscious mind, but I really want to get along. So Mystic Megha, I feel like in spirituality, one of the conversations we tend to have is of detachment, which is a good thing, but disconnected is not a good thing. So move your spiritual path discussion to detachment rather than disconnection. And let me tell you what the difference is. Detachment is your ability to not take things personally. So what does a spiritual person do? The spiritual person has the awareness that we are a soul having a body experience, while a earthly person will have the experience of we are a body having a soulful experience. And how are they different is that whenever something happens on earth which is suffering or struggle or a challenge or a problem, the soul knows that this was all pre-programmed for their growth. So they don't take anything personally. When someone actually triggers them into anger, they already know in their hearts that, you know what, this is a person who's a disguised angel put on earth for their growth. So therefore they are doing all of what they're doing. So they are very, very grateful and have a lot of blessings towards the people who trouble them most, because they don't connect with the rubbish or the drama of the world, because they already know that they are soulful. Their journey is of their soul growth. Okay, now the more detached you are in terms of becoming an observer of your life rather than the experiencer of your life, the more spiritually evolved you are. So the more you can observe yourself getting angry, getting upset, getting sad, getting depressed, getting happy, the more you become the observer of your life, the more detached you get, which is a beautiful place to be in, because you can then actually help people, because you do not become chaotic in their chaos. Now, disconnected is a completely different emotion, which is of not caring. Spirituality is that you detached to care even more, because now you won't turn the drama and make it about you. You will keep it about them, because now you have the space to hold space for other people. But disconnected someone sometimes can feel more like, you know what, you don't care. And I'd love for you to, on your spiritual path, care for everything. Care for the little ant, care for the plant, care for humans, care for your spouse. And if we have in so many ways, we have over romanticized the idea of love with a spouse so much that I feel somewhere along the way we've lost this thing of, see, that kind of love that has been over romanticized doesn't last more than 3, 6 to maximum 1 year. After that, it is all stable, mature love. And I feel like a lot of times when we move from romantic love to stable, mature love, we call it like we are disconnected. Actually, that's not true. You're not really disconnected. It is just that you're no longer playing the game through your hormones, but you're playing the game through your emotions. And you know what? When you go through mature emotions and you choose the feelings you want to have for your spouse, everything changes in your journey with them. A lot less expectations come then, and a lot less dependency for them to make you happy, and you start to become happy within yourself. So because you're on the spiritual path, I can have all of this conversation, and my gut feeling is you must be able to understand, Megha, what I'm saying. I wouldn't have this conversation generally, but because you're on the spiritual path, I know as I explain all of this to you, you may be able to make sense of it because you're already on the path. Yes, my sweetheart? 1,000 kisses. God bless you. Replace the word disconnected with detachment and start to go, because now that I'm an observer of the soul, I am here to love everybody, including my dear darling spouse. And see if you can grow in care. And it's totally okay if you reduce in romantic love. Romantic love is the obsession that we have when we are going through the attraction period. Doesn't last. So best is to overcome that and move into mature love. And mature love is just deep care, deep acceptance. When we start to accept the person for who he is, rather than trying to change them into who we want them to be, that's where we actually start to feel maturity in love. And I can tell you that love is so much more beautiful than romantic love. But because 90% of the world doesn't understand mature love, they are continuously looking for romantic love everywhere, and a lot of times they feel like their marriage is not working because there's no romantic love in it. Now, I'm not talking about intimacy at all. You can still have a lot of intimacy and not yet feel that kind of urges you used to feel when the first time you met one another. So that's the kind of love I feel like we need to start to go from. I think we need to understand different phases of love and then experience them and know that we are going higher, not lesser in our love. that is such an important understanding. I don't know how long you've been married or, what your situation is like, but see if any of this is useful for you, Meri Jaan. Jai Lakshmi, we don't live life, we live patterns. Can you please explain this? Of course, Jai Lakshmi. So, notice how you get up every morning, how you brush your teeth, how you tend to go to work, how you use the same route every day, how you do almost everything. If somebody had to examine our day, majority of the things that we tend to do are the same. So we tend to put nail polish the same way, we tend to do our makeup the same way, we tend to wear one kind of set of clothes the same way. If we love prints, we love prints. If we love embroideries, we love embroideries. We tend to have our likes and dislikes classified clearly as if the other doesn't exist or we don't care for. So what happens eventually is we start to live patterns. Angry people tend to get more and more angry because they are living the angry pattern. Grateful people tend to get more and more grateful. Joyful people tend to get more and more joyful. Sad and depressed people find more to be sad and depressed about. And that's pretty much what it means to live patterns. So a lot of times when you go for any self-development course, one of the things they're going to try to do is actually break your patterns. So they will check with you, what are the things you normally tend to do, and they'll make you do the opposite. So, if you're very highly masculine, they'll ask you to do feminine activities. If you're very feminine, they'll put goals and deadlines for you. So it's all about breaking your patterns, because we are, amazingly, so many different facets we have. We are brilliant at another level, and we box ourselves because of our experiences, and that's not right. We should explore ourselves and our different different facets, so that we can bring out into our lives things that actually matter to us, which we have put on the side thinking, no, that's not me, or that's not who I am. You don't know who you are till you do not go and explore all the various variety, of experiences that you can have. So my suggestion is, if you want to break your patterns, start to do things differently. For 1 week, brush your teeth from your left hand. For 1 week, drive to work on a new route every day. For 1 week, go to restaurants and order a different dish rather than the one you regularly order. Just start to do things differently, and what happens is our neural pathways, whenever something new or a change happens, it starts to grow. So you want to start to grow your brain itself by the changing your patterns. Otherwise, we just tend to live a zebra life, as I like to call it, or an animal life, which is the same every single day, instead of a human life, which can be so colorful because of the kind of variety we can choose. Yeah. Lalita Bliss, how to be a good homemaker in a joint family where everyone else is working. Lalita, that would be a great communications conversation to be had, where you sit everyone down and you ask them what would make this a house that you are excited to come back to. Someone may tell you that what I would love is more towels in the bathroom. Someone will tell you that, what, I would love for my powder to be ordered. Someone will tell you I would love for the remote control to be in trays because I'm always looking for them. Someone will tell you I tend to lose my keys. Someone will tell you the one question I don't want somebody to ask me is, kya khaoge? Can you please make a menu for the whole week? And all of these little irritants, when looked after, the more the convenient a house is, the more a domestic goddess you become. So if you truly want to become an excellent homemaker, sit and make a list of all the irritants and the inconveniences of all the family members, and see if you can help them solutionize it. I remember doing this consciously about 15-20 years ago. I started to have my own floor, and my mother-in-law and all used to live on the first floor, and I was living on the second floor. And suddenly, because our family grew a little fast, my mother-in-law said, it's better you keep your own stuff. And the day she gave me that permission to keep my own stuff, I started to look at how would I like to run my house. So I sat Puneet down and I made him make a whole list of what all would he like done. He would like his green tea to be kept in his car when he's leaving for his office. He would like his golf bag to be put the previous night in the dicky. It was little things that he wanted organized. And I can tell you, I think for 1 month, you just need to supervise all of these things, and then they go into autopilot. If you don't have anyone to help you, just come up with what are the things you're going to be doing, what are the things I'm going to be doing, and how you can mutually help one another around the house. So again, it all depends on your setup, but this is just something I would suggest for you to begin with. I think that would be a great place to start. Devika wins. What to do when you feel hopeless in life? So Devika, I think of all the qualities God has given us, maybe one of the most driving factors of our life is hope. So bringing that hope back into life is, I think, something beautiful to do. The other day I was watching a reel and this man spoke really well. He said, if I gave you $1 million today, you know, how happy would you be? If you had to win a lottery, how happy would you be, and what would you do with it? Can you describe what your life would look like if you just won $1 million lottery? And they were all like talking about it and blah blah blah, and he was interviewing 2 people and those 2 people replied and it was all sounding amazing. And then he said, what if I give you $10 million but I tell you that you won't wake up tomorrow morning? And he said, would you take it? And both of them, even though they had described these most amazing lives, said, no, we wouldn't take it. And he said, so that means every morning when we wake up, it's worth more than $10 million. And yet so many of us are waking up with complaints and blaming and sad and excuses and, you know, grudgingly and you know, just being not the kind of person we should be. And it really was an eye-opener for me that even $10 million we wouldn't take if we knew we were not going to wake up tomorrow morning. And here for free, every morning is a new day, a new blessing. And if we can start to value life, then this whole hopelessness of life will start to disappear, because till the time you have life, you have everything that you can change. It is just a matter of time. You know, it is crazy how fast we can change things the minute we put our mind to it. So it's when we start to see that there is no hope, remember there is a glimmer somewhere if you just have to look for it. Look at the size of the universe at night. Look at the starry sky. Just look at what all is operational in the world. At some point when we've totally lost our ability to be in wonderment and in gratitude, that's when we become hopeless. My suggestion, do at least 10 gratitudes every day, every day, every day, every day, to bring back your ability to be able to see the kind of miracles and magic we are surrounded by, you know. So I would love to pump the injection of hope back into you, but that only comes when you have a future that is exciting you. And for a future to be exciting, you need to get present about your past and your present. So presently and a little bit about your past, whatever there is, see if you can start to do gratitude, 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 gratitude. And trust me when I say this, your entire perception towards life will change. For me, gratitude has been that one medicine that transformed my entire journey. And I want each one of you, if you're watching me today on Insta Live or you've been coming for my Insta Lives and you're not doing gratitude, you're doing a disservice to me. So my highest suggestion would be the next 21 days, make a promise to yourself that you're going to write out your gratitudes. I mean, this is the book of the week that I was going to share with you, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And it's a journal. So this has a book also. If you haven't read that, please get your hands on it. One of the best books I've read, Mark Manson. And this is the journal format. And I want you to see the very first page is dedicated to us writing up. So it's called, the part 1 is called the warm up. And if you can see, it is just shut up and be grateful is the first chapter. And you can see I started to write my gratitude, and more of it, and more of it, and more of it. I've written till about 56 and I'm going to finish till 100 by the evening today. And I can tell you, every book, every teacher in our world of self-development, of any religion or any knowledge and science, will tell you that the reason we become hopeless is somewhere along the way we are no longer grateful. And when the day we stop being grateful, there's nothing exciting to live for. My suggestion, just go back into deep gratitude by writing it out. In the beginning, it may feel fake, but you know what? Fake it till you make it. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going till you start to experience the feeling. And the minute that feeling comes back, hope will come back. And you've got to work with hope coming back into your life, because I know how amazing you are. I don't even know if you're asking this question for yourself, but Devika, whatever little I know of you, I know that you are mind-blowing. So let's see how we can help you. And my sweetheart darling, in case by any chance you're not able to help yourself, remember I have a team of coaches available for you to be helped. So please just DM me your phone number, and tomorrow itself one of my coaches will call you. Yeah? Nitanjali Bedi, you looked wonderful in all of your outfits. Thank you, Nitanjali Bedi, and thank you for that compliment. One of the things I'll tell you about attending weddings that lately I have been feeling and experiencing is that it's become so much about the clothes, the jewelry, your shoes, your bags, how you look, your makeup, and the kind of pressure people were taking. I was just mind blown with it. My suggestion, I think we need to take ourselves a lot more lightly. And I can tell you, this wedding, I've just had a blast. I did not spend a rupee on this wedding. Whatever I had in my cupboard is what I wore. I carried whatever little jewelry. I didn't carry too much jewelry. I even forgot my foundation at home. So you can imagine the kind of makeup I must have done if you've forgotten your basic foundation at home. And I just, you know what, I just decided I'm not going to make this about what I'm wearing and how I'm looking. I'm going to just make it about having a good time with everyone. And it became so liberating and freeing. And while this is not your question, you were just so sweetly giving me such a lovely compliment. I do want to bring this into the world right now, because I feel like especially people, as they are evolving and growing materialistically, instead of, you know, wearing products, their products are wearing them. Like, they are so proud about what they are wearing. I feel like the product should be proud to be on you, not you should be proud that the product is on you. How can a dead thing be more amazing and exciting than the living being who's owning this product and wearing it? So I really feel like, you know, I remember one of my teachers used to say, can't remember the exact sentence, but he say, Puja, when you walk into the room, people should look at you, not what you wear, or I can't remember the exact sentence. It was really nice sentence which had a deep impact on my life. And I'm going to say the same to every one of you here. You may be going for weddings, you may be going for events. See if you can focus on the people who are there rather than how you are dressed. Remember, the patriarchy at some point needed all of us women to look a certain way. So saloons got created, the color of our skin started to be judged, our height, our weight, our everything, you know, and then came in what we call the rejection of a woman. So every woman has parts of her body that she has rejected at such a deep level that, you know what, our self-worth and self-love has reduced tremendously. I mean, people were wearing the best of clothes and yet giving justifications on how actually, you know, their main dress was left in Chennai. And all I want to say is that, you know, while I have deep respect for the amount of gorgeousness I have seen in the last 3 days, I also want to say that, you know what, if your materialism is becoming more than who you are as a person, you need to for some time detox from it. So it's a totally, completely different tangent. I used to go into every party to notice everybody's amazingness and give them compliments. And I said, you know what, I don't need no compliments on clothes, jewelry and all that. I'm much more than that inside, and that's all that matters. It was my way of disconnecting with the need to be, you know, I want to be the queen that walks in to give compliments rather than the person who walks in to receive all the compliments, because now my happiness is dependent on other people and I don't want my happiness to be dependent on anyone but me. So I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but it was such a great realization that, you know, all of us at some point get into the rut of how society perceives us. And I think the most important gift we can give to ourselves is how do we perceive ourselves. And while I love clothes and I'm always going to spend a lot of money on clothes, the question I love asking myself is, if I was all alone on an island, would I still buy this if no one ever saw it? And I think that only when I say yes to that question will I pick up something. Otherwise, I don't want it. I don't want to own things for other people to see and think I am dash, whatever that dash is. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go right to the bottom. Oh, so sweet. I'm just reading all the comments on what I just said, and so nice to see that some of you resonate so much with it. Yeah, God bless you. Shraddha Kasat Kutari, ma'am, my son is turning 8 and my family wants me to plan another child. Should I consider it because of the age gap? Shraddha, I'm not sure if age gap should be your point of considering having a baby, or are there other things? Do you want one? Does your husband want one? Does your 8-year-old son want one? Eventually the age gap disappears, okay? So just know that all of this age gap is till the age of maybe 16, 18, 20. After which, like Puneet and his brother have a 10 years age gap, but they are so close and they have such a beautiful relationship that, you know, when he was younger, Puneet was literally like a father to him for the longest time. But today they are simply friends or brothers or bros or whatever you want to call it. So age gap is not really the reason of why you shouldn't have a baby, but look at what you want, what your husband wants, and what your son wants. That's the real question of, does everyone in the family want it? If everyone in the family wants, then you should definitely look at it seriously. But if you feel like, no, I don't know, I've just started to build my life back and my own identity, then you need to see. Right now, one of the thoughts that I'm having is that a mother needs to be given back the darja. I don't know, how do you say darja in English? The pedestal or the position that she used to have earlier on. Earlier on, mothers were really put on a pedestal because she sacrifices her own identity and her own life for her little young one, right? And I think a lot of women are choosing not to have babies because in the world that we live right now, working women are being given a more special place than a mother. And I'm just very confused with that thought, because you know what? Having a baby is one of the most beautiful but difficult things a woman chooses to do. And I feel like we have to bring back the respect that we have to give to a woman when she chooses to become a mother over all the other things that she could have been doing in her life. Until that doesn't happen, we as mothers will keep questioning whether it's worth it to even be one. You know, Elon Musk and a lot of other top guys have started to speak about how sooner than later, the new problem of the world is going to be the falling population. And the falling population is going to be because women in the world have stopped choosing to be the creator of life. Because they think being a creator of a corporation, of a company, of economic, financial gain, success is more important than having the capacity to create life. So I don't know. I think I'm a little carried away with the idea that, you know what, I had my children in innocence. So both my babies were born back when I was 18 and 23. Sorry, 19 and 22. I was pregnant when I was 19 and 22. And I don't even think I had the brains to think through what I was doing. They just happened. But today I feel like a lot of choice is being made, and a lot of choice is being made against having the baby, which is not the right way we should be building society. And again, I'm just throwing my perspective on all of you here. I would love to know what's your perspective on having babies, because I feel like that's one of the biggest or the bestest things that happens to a woman. Latika Narang, I want to start my journey as a life coach and I don't know where to start. Thank you, Latika, for asking me this question, because please start with me. The following coming weekend, the 1st and 2nd of April, I run something called Coaching Mastery. And if you are interested in becoming a coach, I highly recommend you join it. When I finish doing this Insta Live today, underneath in the chat box will be Gunjan the Dreamer's phone number. Please make sure you give her a call and see if you can come and join me this Saturday, Sunday. a beautiful 2 full days on the importance of coaching, the business of coaching, why coaching is, what is the style of coaching, what are all the things you need to learn. Pretty much I'm going to help you how to position yourself as a coach, how to promote yourself as a coach, how to package yourself as a coach, and what are the processes you need to do that I have been doing for the last 10 years that I'm going to literally hand over to you. If you are wanting to become a fabulous coach, please come join me and allow me to help you, my darling. For all of you who are coming for Coaching Mastery this weekend, coming weekend, massive welcome to each one of you. Get ready for a treat. We are going to have a lot of fun together, and by the end of those 2 days, I really hope one of the things I have infused into you is the ability that you have the ability to make lots and lots of money, especially in the current scenario where people are so lost, so confused. Mental health is becoming such a huge problem. Coaches are the need of the hour, है ना? So inspired from you and your story. Shipra Jain is saying, so resonate with me. Want to be a life coach? Please guide. Where should I get my training? Okay, that looks like the question of the day. Aaja Meri Rani, mere paas. 1st and 2nd of April, it is happening on Zoom live, where I will go from 9 in the morning to 6 in the evening, 9 in the morning, 6 in the evening, Saturday and full Sunday. I look forward to having anyone here who is desiring to become a coach. This is going to be my last or second last Coaching Mastery ever. So highly recommend. Jaldi se aa jao before I close this offer. Mansi Gaikwad is saying, how to attract a good life partner? By being one. There's this beautiful dialogue that we don't get what we deserve, we get what we vibrationally match. So you want to become a vibrational, not what we desire, sorry. We don't get what we desire, we get what we vibrationally match with. And you want a high, superior, good kind of guy, you want to start to become that person. Just start to literally role model being the person you want to attract. You want a kind person, become kind. You want a respectful person, become respectful. You want, whatever you want is what I want you to become, and I want you to start to do more of those 5 qualities that you can write out. So list out 5 qualities that you would love to attract in your good life partner, and then just start to be more of that, and just watch how beautifully this person who will become your vibrational match will come into your life in a most amazing way. Yeah? Oops. All right, let's go right to the bottom. I've already shared with you the book of the week, the card of the week. I also need to just let you know what the winners for this week of my book are going to be. All of you last week who landed up sharing it in your stories, where you basically tagged me, Puja_Puneet, and you put a takeaway. Thank you so much. Week after week, each one of you has been doing it. Remember, we are coming to the end of the 12 weeks. We started this in the beginning of the year. So if you've done any of the shares, be ready to be invited for Date with Puja, which will be happening sometime in April last week. We will keep you informed. If you haven't done it till now, today would be a fabulous day. All you need to do is take a picture. Okay? Take a picture. Make sure you share it in your story. Put what was your biggest learning or takeaway for today and tag me. Don't forget to put Puja_Puneet, okay? Let me very quickly read out to you the winners. The winners for this week. Okay, so last week we had so many participants. I actually feel like reading out their name because it's been a while since I read out all of your names. Hina, Anita Gupta, Neha Karan, Jagannath Reganathan, Yoga Happiness Hub, Innovative Tarot Trupti, Amanpreet Soulful, Deval Bhutti, Pallavi Mehta, Dr. Alifia, Alicia Muslima, Coach Neha Garg, Bhargavi Arjun, Vivek Vasanta, English with _Deepti, Nisa QR, Gauri 1811, Dr. Raman Patiala, Ruchi Chauhan, Saranya Naveen, Kavita Ravi, Loveleen Conscious World, Vibrant Life 5, Sharanya KK1993, Image Designer Consultancy, Mind Matters by Meera, Devika Daffodil, Khushbu Patel, Jen Anusha 62, Mona Mika's Bakes, Aditi Ashish Kumar, and the Chirpy Listener. Massive congratulations for taking part in my story challenge. All of you have been so loyal, literally I can say these are my Insta fam leaders, because every week you do this, and I'm so proud of you. The winners of this week are Elevate Life with Shalini, Modern Mirabai, and Productivity Manifester. So massive congratulations to the three of you. Elevate Life with Shalini, Modern Mirabai, and Productivity Manifester. All three of you will receive my book. We will be in touch with you on our DMs, okay? And also on that note, let's quickly take a picture. Let me see if I can pose for you a little bit. I'm trying to fix mine. Yeah. All right. Le lo. Sometimes the wordings come on the face, na? Which other pose? This one? All right, thank you so much for coming. I love you also, and congratulations to all the winners. We are at thank you each one of you. I love coming, okay? So while you think I'm coming for you, I get so excited that every week I get to meet people and impact their lives. Pretty much you are the reasons who are helping me live my mission. You see, my mission is to help, and you give me that platform to be able to come in and help all of you. So thank you so much. Loads of love, deep gratitude to each one of you who takes out time every Wednesday to come and listen to me. 1,000 kisses. Bye everyone. Ciao.